Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome back to another episode of the Canadian Cattle Farmer on Chilliwack, British Columbia. We've jumped forward from where we were last. We are now into July and we're needing to get some of our animals fed. We've kept on top of it up until now, but they're starting to get a little bit low and we're going to have to get some food mixed up for them. So we are just, we're working here on getting a bit of a feed mix done. Now I've figured out a better ratio. I think it's a better ratio. We're going to find out how this works, but it's basically 3 silage bales, 2 hay bales, and the balance is in the silage here. It should be about 4,000 litres, so we've gone a little bit over there. But that's alright, we'll get that done and mixed up, and a very similar mix that will go into the trucks. Now, one thing I'm thinking about doing, or I am planning to do, we're going to go and get a new bale fork from the front of this. Get a bale spike, 4 on the wheel loader, so we can pick up more bales just to speed up the process. This grab has been fantastic and I've really enjoyed using it, but it is a little bit clunky and a little bit cumbersome to use. Just be great to be able to drive in, pick up 2, maybe even 3 silage bales all at once and put them into the mixers as and when we need them. So that is the plan. That is not the main plan for today. We're just going to get this done, but our main plan is we do have a manure spreader turning up very soon, or a slurry spreader turning up very soon. It is a tow behind one, it's not a drag line or anything like that, but we're going to give that a bit of a demo. The dealer is trying to sell us some equipment. They know about our plans for this feedlot and they're thinking we're going to need some big manure pits and things like that, slurry pits, and they have some gear and equipment that might be suitable for us. So they're on a little bit of a butter us up course. They're coming out to try and sweeten the deal by giving us a demo and say, this is what it's like, what do you think? So that is what we will be doing today. But I'm just going to get these animals fed, run a couple of loads around to each of the cow barns, and then we'll go and get into that. We'll probably, while we're doing it as well, we might try and get some milk sold, because I'm pretty sure we've got a full truckload of milk sitting between a couple of the cow pastures. So we'll do that while we're busy doing this as well. So we'll catch up with you in just a little while once we've got some animals fed. Alright, there's first load of TMR on its way out. It's going down to one of the cow pastures and we should see not far behind it. Let's keep a look out this way. The truck should be coming as well. That is all filled up and heading to one of the other pastures. Can't see it, there it is. Coming around the corner now. So while they're going and doing that, we are going to head over. We're going to go grab the semi over there. It's hooked up to the tanker already. And we're going to go and run that down to another pasture and we'll go and get some milk loaded up. We'll figure out which one's the best one to go to, and we'll go and get some milk sold. So field 125 has 54,000 litres in it, so I think we'll go and empty that one out first. It's closest to full. 203's got 35,000 litres in it, so we might even think about doing 2 trips there. You can see the food. I think I've just sent one vehicle. I think the tractor was heading down to 195 to top them up, and the truck was going to head down to 125 and top them up. The other 2 about half full, so they're not quite so bad off with their milk. We are getting closer with these ones to being reproducing. In fact, our closest ones here are these Holsteins at 60%, and hopefully these ones at 23 months aren't too far away from getting some milk. Only a couple more months and we'll be getting some milk off them, which is great. Now, speaking of milk, the best place to go and sell at the moment is at Costco, so we will head there and go and get this sold. We're just pulling in here at the same time as one of our trucks, so we're going to have to let them get in and turned around. Now, one thing we do have to do down here is get our track all formed up and access in here, get some of this all gravelled and things like that, and then we can make this much better. Update on the clover, still no germination, so we are just going to let it run its course. Some people did suggest using Easy Dev to get this all filled up and done. Or to growing, sorry, but this field here wouldn't have been able to because it's not actually a predefined field. Well, no way to have got that one working on Easy Dev, so we kind of just decided let's just let it go, run its course, and we'll worry about it next time. Would have actually been good though, because we don't actually have much hay. Hay is a filler in our food, but at least it stops us from overusing all of the maize, corn maize and grass maize, and I am mindful of how much of that we're going to need. But let's get backed in there and we'll get filled up with some milk, 55,000 litres or so, so we'll go pretty close to filling the truck, but it's not too far to head down the road and get to Costco. Hopefully by the time we're done this mixer is probably going to be all unloaded and back over at the farm, and we'll be able to make up another mix and probably go and get some of the more of the animals fed, or at least get it ready to go and feed them. But the cows are looking pretty excited to be coming in there. Still haven't figured out what the issue with the animation on them is, because it's certainly not a frame rate issue or anything with the game, but there's something's affecting these animals when they move. Just it's not how it's meant to be, and I don't know what's causing the issue. But there we go, 81% full. Let's go and get this sold. So another delivery to the now infamous Costco bulk milk supplies. I've certainly been buying a lot of milk up here. Now, is it true Canadians have their milk in bags? There's an ongoing gag. If anyone ever listened to the Millennial Farmers podcast Off the Husk, there's an ongoing gag about how Canadians all have their milk in bags. I think there's a lot of opinionated pieces and opinionated comments coming from viewers around that one. So go and have a look. It's well worth a listen to. A bit of a joke. But look at that money going up, and it's just carrying on going up. This milk has really become a bit of the lifeblood of this farm, which is fantastic. How much are we going to get off this load? $41,000. Well, I think we will carry on. We'll go and get the other milk from the other dairy, and we'll come and get this sold as well, because I think $30,000, we'll probably get another $25,000 or so from that. We're down here getting the rest of the milk out of this barn, and I was just looking at the grass here. This is actually starting to grow quite well. We're probably not far away from almost being able to mow it again, which would be good. We could actually come down here and make some hay off this field, and it also means there's probably an opportunity, just as that gets to 35% full, 35,000 litres full, 52%, could be the opportunity to get a second cut of grass off the big field back at the farm, and we could look at splitting that, make some silage bales, because I think silage is going to be much more useful, but also some hay at the same time. And don't forget, we will get quite a bit of straw off the oats field over the road, and that will also come in handy. We can use that as a filler in our feed mixes too. So lots of different options there, and I think we're going to be pretty flush with feed for the animals very, very soon. So we're going to get this offloaded and sold back at Costco as well. 35,000 litres. Yeah, I reckon there'll be maybe $27,000 on this one. We will find out. Well, let's see how close I was to guessing $27,000 worth. It's just counting down now. It's about half of it through, and we're getting down to our last 10,000 litres, 5,000, and we'll get our tally popping up there at the moment. 26,742. Look at that, $258 off 27 grand. So I'll take that as a pretty good guess of value there. So that's all our milk sold. The animals are pretty much well fed. So now it's just a case of waiting for the slurry spreader to turn up. I'm not sure what time it was going to be here. I think it's on the back of a truck and on its way from right from the dealer, actually, straight from the manufacturer. Sorry, straight from their factory. Never been used. So we're looking forward to giving it a go. So let's head back on over to our farm, and we'll catch you over there. Well, here it is. We've just had the call, and the driver is here with our big. That thing is huge. Look at the size of that slurry spreader. Brand new, fresh off the factory floor from GEA. It is a stainless steel tank, 7900 Canadian edition. We've even got the flag up there for us. So we will go, and we actually will get the driver to pull over into the front of the yard and get this unloaded. Looks like the same truck that brought us the combine last time. But this is going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to having a play in this and getting some slurry spread. We've got 400,000 litres across our 4 dairies, so I don't think we're going to be able to use it all. Certainly not on the ground we've got, but we'll definitely give it a good go. So we'll go and get this unloaded. So I think we're going to use the New Holland to pull this around. The Versatile's probably a little bit big. Remember, we have to do a bit of time on the roads getting back and forth between our dairy barns and getting the slurry. So hopefully we can get backed up to the drawbar there. Hopefully we're wide or narrow enough. Hopefully the ramps aren't too wide, and we can get up there and get this pulled off. Alright, there we are. Might do something funny, I think, with the axles as it's lifting up, so just ignore that, because that obviously would not happen, I wouldn't have thought. But there we are. We'll get this unloaded. And there we go. It's a nice bit of kit. Now I think if we come around the back here, it's got 3 spreaders on the back. You can unfold those. And that gives us a 10 metre spread width on it. So it's going to cover a decent amount of area. It is a big tank. I think the 7900 is 7900 gallons, which works out at about 36,000 litres or so. So we should be able to get just on, or just under, 3 loads out of each of the cattle barns with the 100,000 litres that is in storage down there. So looking forward to giving that a go. But so we're just going to leave that parked there for now. Let the driver of the truck get back on his way, because we don't have to give it back in any hurry. And we're just going to go finish making another feed mix, get that sent off, and then we'll go and get some slurry spread. So we're going to have ourselves another load of TMR made up here. Now we are actually going to try out a new feature that I've only just been shown in auto drive. So thank you to Karen for pointing this out to me, and Disturb Simulations, who has done a little tutorial video on how to use the cycle pickup and delivery options. So we're just going to bring up our menu, and you can now see we've actually got this icon here. This is cycle pickup and deliver. So we have it set so that our truck will deliver to multiple points. There's a few ways this works. Basically you have to have your delivery points in a folder. So I've got 3 of our cow barns, field 195, 203 and 125, all in the same folder. I've deliberately left 170, which is the furthest one away, out, because I know the truck doesn't like entering that cow barn very well. So we're just going to try delivering to those 3. Now the way it's set up to work is you could have multiple sell points or production points, and you deliver crops to it. So let's say we had a silo full of wheat and we wanted to deliver to a flour mill and to a sell point. You can alternate between those, or something like that. Now I'm going to try this. I don't know what will happen here. I'm hoping that when our cow barn gets to 100% full and the truck doesn't need to unload there anymore, it will carry on and drive off to the next one. So we've got those set up in the folders. Based on this, it should cycle through. We've got 195 selected first. Once that's full, hopefully it'll go down to 203 and then back to 125. So there's really only one way to try this out. The reason I can try it out right now is if we just have a look at our cow barns. You can see there 195 is 3/4 full, probably only takes 18,000 litres, so that's not a full truckload. 125 is pretty much bang on full, so it's not going to take much, and 203 there has only a little bit of capacity. So what I'm hoping is doing this means we can just cycle the truck, fill it up, and it'll go make all the cow pastures 100% full and keep on going to wherever it needs to be. So there's only one way to find out if this is going to work, and that is to turn on our mixers, have them all going so they're ready to deliver the product when they get there, and we'll press go and see what happens. So we'll ride along. In fact, we're not going to ride along. We'll let it get up to field to pasture 195, and we'll see when we get up there. So moment of truth here as the truck is pulling into the pasture at field 195. Now this one needs about 17,000 litres, so with the 52 in the truck we should get down to about 35 left, and then we will see whether it is going to carry on driving. I'm hoping this could be an awesome solution. Like I said though, I don't know what's going to happen because there'll still be some product in it, so its guess is as good as mine whether it's going to work. So we'll just sit here, we'll wait. It is going down. I'll move over so you can see the level there, 46,000 litres. It's getting down towards the 37 or so, which is where this pasture should be at about full capacity. Alright, and here we are, 38,000, still going down. When is it going to stop? When's the pasture going to be full? 36. It's taking a little bit more than I thought. Taking a lot more than I thought. Perhaps my maths was off a little bit, but there we go. It's stopped, it's empty, the truck is still running, and we're off and moving. Look at this. Got the door open too, even better. But I wonder if it's now going to get to the trigger, because remember our trigger point for field, or this cow pasture is right at the end here. It's on the outside of the cow pen. So I'm just waiting to see whether it is now, when it gets up here, gets to that point, whether it is going to tick over and go to the next one. And there we go, look at that, it's just changed to cows F203. So that is an awesome solution. That is going to be so good. Just ignore it driving over the crops because I didn't organise this end very well. We didn't have anything when we did that. But there we look at that, that is fantastic. So no more sitting around waiting, which had been happening a little bit. Ignore the grass bale in the back too, I dropped it in there and it didn't need it all. But that is, that's a fantastic solution. So I reckon, go and check out Disturb Simulations tutorial on that. He's done a great job on it. It's very, very simple to set up. You just need to make sure you use the folders and have whatever you want in the same folder as your delivery points. So give it a go. I think it is a fantastic little option. So we are just going to leave this truck doing its things. It should head down to 203, then up to 125. I'll be intrigued to see what it does when it gets to the end, whether it just keeps on cycling till the truck is empty, or whether it will whether it will come back to base. So we will just let it do its thing, and we're going to go and get some slurry spread. So we've jumped into the tee out, we've grabbed the manure spreader and we're heading down to the nearest of the cow pastures to start getting loaded up with some slurry. So we should be able to take, I said earlier, get 3 loads out of each of the manure sheds, or each of the manure tanks at the cow barns. There's 100,000 litres in storage, and this takes, I think, 36,000 litres, so a little bit under 3 full loads. We're just going to back in underneath the unload spout there, and hopefully, I don't know if there's an animation or not, but we'll just get backed in there. It looks about the right spot. No, but we are filling up with slurry. You can see that going up. I'm not sure how much we're going to need. We could look at the field calculator we have installed, but I think precision farming will overrule that. So we'll just have to go through and see how far we can get with what we've got. We've got 400,000 litres, so I'm hoping that that is going to be enough. We do have the John Deere manure sensing, which is an option here, 35,900 litres total in the tank, but the yellow box up there on the front, that is the manure sensing device, which will help with our precision farming and making sure we're applying the optimal rate of manure for the field. So, all loaded up, let's head on back down and make a start with getting some manure spread. So we've made it here to the field. Let's get this all unfolded to get those arms out. And we've got a 10 metre spread width on there, so we might be a little bit close to the edge of the field, but I'd rather start out a little bit close than too far away. Get that turned on, and there we go. We are getting our manure, or slurry, keep on saying manure, but it is slurry, out of the pipes and onto the field. Now we're going to set up a GPS course for this, and I'm just going to bring up our mini-map there to make sure we can see we are getting nitrogen applied. And if we look up in the top, we're applying slurry amount depending on the soil yield potential, which is for silty clay. So let's set up our little course, make our A and B point along here, then we'll check our lines and make sure that everything is set to the right width. But this is all going pretty well. Already used 10% up, so it'll be interesting to see if we can get the whole way around the field without having to unload. There we are, that's on GPS, and we do just have a little bit of an overlap, but at least that means when we come around the next time we will be in exactly the right spot. But that's doing a good job. Quite like that. Great little animation and everything down there. Doing what it says it does. Spreading slurry. I have been keeping an eye as well on our truck. I'm just going to very quickly pop here into the menu, and it does look like, I wonder if it's stuck. Might be stuck on the road or on a piece of traffic. That is the downside to trying to do an auto drive course like that, having traffic moving. So we might have to go after this lap, getting the headlands opened up, go and check that just to make sure that everything is okay, because I'm quite excited about the potential for that course setting and having delivery to multiple points. So we'll get around the headland, we'll get that sorted out, and then we'll get into this proper. Well, you might just be able to see in the distance the truck has made it back here to the yard, and unfortunately it did not unload at field 203, even though it went all the way down there. So I think we might have to spend a little bit more time babysitting that truck just to see what happens when it gets to each of the points, whether it carries on driving or whether it resets, or what exactly could be causing it to not unload. It's a little bit frustrating. I really was quite hopeful that there could have been a bit of a fix or a solution or a much more efficient way to do things than we had been. So we'll worry about that a little bit later. We'll probably have to go and sort that truck out. It might be struggling to get in the entrance as well. In fact, it does look like that because I can see that car's stationary there. But anyhow, trials and tribulations of trying to automate things that just don't quite want to work the way you want them to. That's fine. It's all part of the learning process for me, as well as it is me trying to teach you. So hopefully you guys can take something away from this as well. Anyhow, we'll carry on. We'll go and get this emptied out, ready to go and pick up some more slurry, and we'll get that truck sorted out at the same time. Well, we've made it down one edge and almost the whole way across the top here of the field, so one lap and this little bit extra, so that's not too bad. Get this all folded up, and you already start to see it getting dirty there on the back. That's actually quite some nice effects there with the way you can sort of see the slurry as if it's dribbled down the side and a little bit of spillage and things like that as it's been filling, and the front is still relatively clean, so that's pretty impressive with the texturing there on the spreader. So we're going to head on down. We're just going to get into a little bit of routine, jump to a little bit of a time lapse, a montage, and get this spreading done once we've got the truck here out of the way and figured out. I'm going to think I'm going to spend some time after this. We might have a look at this and try and figure out exactly what happened here, because I just really want this to work. It just seemed like such a good idea. But anyhow, let's get this in here, out of the way of the vehicles, and we'll carry on with our slurry spreading. I reckon we've actually used less than the field calculator told me. I thought it was going to be about 160,000. I thought, no, we'll use much more than that. But this is only our 5th load, and we didn't even use up half of it. So definitely much less than 150,000 litres across the field. But there we go. I think that is all pretty much done. You can see we do have some different patches. The way it's applied it's a little bit different. To be honest, this is probably about the first time I've really applied Slurry, maybe the second, so we might have to do a little bit more investigation. It might be we have to go in and apply all again in the future just to get that boosted right up, because you can see here we've definitely got a good dose of nitrogen here on the right hand side. And in fact, if we just pop in and have a look, do we have our field info turned on? We don't. Let's just have a quick look at that. Well, it is telling us that nitrogen is perfect. We are on the greener part. Let's just run over this way and see what it tells us. Again, still telling us nitrogen's perfect on this side. 105 of 65. So perhaps we've over nitrogened the field. Who knows? We might have more than we actually need. But as for the spreader, I'm super impressed with it actually. The detail with the textures and the way it got dirty and muddy and yuck. You know, on the back here, we'll come around in the sunlight. But the spills and everything, the overflow that you'd get sloshing out of the back there, pretty impressive. And I don't know if you noticed, I definitely did, but the tyre splatters, look at that. This tyre's splattering the manure and that, or dirt or whatever up off here. Very, very authentic. I do like that. That's fantastic. Even up in here under the mud guards. So very cool. So impressed with that. That is certainly going to be going on the wish list for something that we will need here on the farm very soon. So we're just going to park up and we'll give it a quick wash off, clean all of this crap off it, and then we'll be wrapping things up for today. I don't think we'll get it back to showroom condition, but we'll certainly make sure it is as close to clean as it was when it arrived on the farm. We're going to keep it for a little bit longer. We might try and get another application applied. We'll see. We'll figure out exactly what we need to do. Of course, we're going to have some crops to harvest soon, and we're going to have plenty of fields. We could put some nitrogen on for winter or before winter, so that come spring when we plant crops again, we will be giving them the best chance of giving us a good yield. As for the auto drive course, I think there is some real merit, and I'm going to spend a little bit more time investigating how to use that multiple deliver or cycle delivery option. That if that can work, if I can get that figured out and understand what was going on and why it might not have done or delivered when I thought it was going to, I think that's just going to be awesome. Huge benefits there for the farm if we can get that all set up and running. So thank you to Kirim for sharing that with me, and Disturbed, to go and check out his tutorial on it. He shows it how to do it as well, and like I said, first time I've tried it out and we're still learning, so we can learn together. Anyhow, that is enough from me. I hope you've all enjoyed that episode. As always, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.